Usually these people I hired from your university, they know what I want right away. They're very dedicated to work. They're not afraid to roll up their sleeves, get their hands dirty, and do the actual work. These graduates from University of Asia Pacific have big faith. It's very important when you're surrounded with people like them because you don't lose the faith. You become stronger, we help each other.
Welcome to K-Talks. I'm Dr. Jerry Kliauchko, the Dean of the School of Media and Marketing at the University of Asia and the Pacific. Our guest for today is the only Chairmom in the world. She is a global advertising icon, globally acclaimed and multi-awarded creative, the first and only Filipina to be a global CEO. She's also among the founders of DM9 Advertising Agency, which then became Dentsu Jaime Saifu, and today is called Dentsu Creative. She's also the founder of the Misfits Camp. Please welcome Ms. MERLEE Jaime. Hello, MERLEE.
Hello, Jerry.
Great to have you here.
Yes, I'm happy to be here.
You've hired and worked with a number of graduates from UA&P,
Yes.
the IMC program. Can you tell us a bit about your experience with our graduates?
First and foremost, I could not believe that I was a teacher.
That's right, you taught with us as well.
Yeah,
That's right.
In your university. And after they graduated, I think I have like 3 or 4 that we hired. I was still with Sachi then. I think I never regretted doing that. And the funny thing is, I still work with them.
That's true.
To this day.
After all these years.
Yes. It makes me feel old, but I'm
some in creative and some in account management.
Some accounts management, some creative, really good award-winning creative people. And I feel like I've mentored them through the years, from being a teacher to being a partner, to being part of the creative department, and then until I led the creative department. And then later on, I see them like my own kids growing into the roles.
Wonderful.
And being promoted to lead in their own specific offices. Like, I think one of them became the chief client officer, another became a chief creative officer. So I'm really proud of what they've achieved.
What is it about them after working with a number of them? Is there anything that stands out or calls your attention maybe?
Yes, first and foremost, they're very smart. When I look at people I work with, I'm a pretty bad person this way. I judge people sometimes when I don't get the level of work or the standard of work I want, whether your accounts or your creatives. Usually these people I hired from your university, they know what I want right away. So they're very smart that way. The second one would be they're very dedicated to work. I mean, no qualms in what needs to be done. They're not afraid to roll up their sleeves, get their hands dirty, and do the actual work. And most importantly, you know, I'm a religious person. In fact, when we started DM9 Jaime Saifu, the biggest requirement was to find an office near the Greenbelt Chapel.
Wow.
Only because at some point in time when the going gets tough, sometimes you need to pray. These graduates from University of Asia Pacific, obviously, have big faith. And it's very important when you're surrounded with people like them because you don't lose the faith along the way. You become stronger, we help each other, and we understand each other. Sometimes when they're not in the office, you would think they're probably in Greenbelt or having lunch. No, they're in the chapel.
Wow.
So I find it reassuring and comforting.
So it's the values maybe that
Values are strong and that we are aligned in that.
You are a global creative,
multi-awarded,
as I said earlier. What does it take to become one? I'm sure many young aspiring creatives would love to hear your story.
You'd want an answer that there is really a template for it, or
I'm sure
there's something that, you know, you have this levels that go up, but there's none.
Okay.
There's no
so
secret.
tell us.
It's more of you don't really look at it that way, that you have that kind of, I'm ambitious, but I don't put that as an end goal, especially winning awards. It's more of we work on each project and we make sure it's good the way you work on a project. We do the right insights like we did today. The insighting is very important. Along the way, your work becomes noticed. And sometimes when it's like very nice insighting, it flies not just here in the Philippines, but for the rest of the world. People relate to the kind of work you do. And that's when you start getting nods from the global community. You get to judge and you get to see the others. And somehow you feel like, oh my God, they're treating me like one of them. like an equal, you know?
Right.
Sometimes we Filipinos put ourselves down, and these are very nice signals that you're not supposed to put yourself down because you're equals now to people in the global scene.
For my last question, MERLEE, how were you able to combine having such a brilliant career at the same time being a great mom to your 4 daughters?
That's a tough question because
Yes.
I wrote a book on this. People would always say you balance mommyhood with work. You can never balance.
Okay.
You can't balance those two things. Those are two important things, especially when you're cut out like me as a career woman. I have ambition, as I've said, and I want to be good at that without sacrificing home life. So at some point, I would try to do the same and really come home late, but make sure that I check the homework and basically not sleep. And then the next day, I try to wake up early so I can see my kids awake, even if I sleep late. You know, I try to balance, but it's gonna kill me. So at the same time, balancing the two worlds. There was an instance where the ballet recital of my daughter was happening in
this
Makati,
story.
and then I had a pitch presentation in the office. I said my piece and I went to the bathroom. I said, "Excuse me, I'm going to have a toilet break." But I actually ran to the school, showed myself cheering for my daughter.
Wow.
And what's funny, it's almost the end of her dance. She didn't know I wasn't there the whole dance. And have flowers. I went up the stage, gave it to her, and I have to go back to the same boardroom and say, "Now, are there any questions?" I mean, that was very tiring, okay? So I would do that a lot of years. And I was, first and foremost, you have to have the good support. You can't do everything. One support is my husband. We had this rule that if she travels, I cannot. I have to stay put for our kids. If I need to travel, he stays put because we were very active then. And then another support are my parents. My mom would take care of the girls. I feel actually safer when my mom's there. So that's why they're very religious too, because my mom instills all these values into them. So I mean, all this support at home, it makes it a success. But otherwise, you can't do it on your own. The third very good way was we brought our home near work.
Okay, that helps.
That really helps.
Yeah.
Like even if it's a small home, like a condo, just near work. I would work, I would come home, have dinner with the kids, make sure the homework are done, put them to sleep. I go back to work and finish the work until the next day. So that truly, truly helped. Of course, every single mom has a different situation, but for me, the support of people around you who loves you is the best way. And it's not, when I say it's never balancing, it's really weaving through home into your work. It's not balance, it's like together. So that's the only way for that to succeed.
That was great. So I think it's really doing great work.
Yes.
And your values accompanying that.
Yes.
And these two are very much one, and especially the supportive family. I think this is really what gave you this great success.
Those are the ingredients to all their questions.
Well, thank you very much for this great insights you shared with us. And once again, thank you for watching. Until my next interview. Bye for now.